Yellow duckies, let's get back into the game. I want to learn about the bowl. You're surprised by how much this question surprises Chief Gurvan. Know about them? I suppose I can tell you what I know. I don't usually learn about the vassal nations I serve in, just enough to run the fort and follow the orders. Tell me about the people of the wall. I would refer you to Sage Albinnen. Our sages tend to be more collecting of intelligence. She could prove more insightful than this old soldier. What is the history of the wall? History? I guess they have a lot of it. Tragic stories of the harsh hot sand swallowing up cities, that sort of thing. It's an unpleasant place. Then again, every vassal always wants to fill your ears with how horrible their lives are. I want to know about the Owen and the Masha. There is the unavoidable business. It's a standard vassal squabble. Common, really. Still requires attention and judgment to untangle it in the most productive way. I don't have any opinions on it. How have you seen similar situations play out with other vassals? We pick a side, help them win. Then, as long as they live up to the conditions of their treaty with us, they can do what they want. Within reason, of course. What if I ordered you to have an opinion? I would ask you for a briefing of the situation. You would tell me enough that I would figure out your opinion, then I would have that opinion. How can you not have an opinion about such a big thing? It's not a great idea for chiefs like me to get too involved in the matters of the vassal. Haven always tries to leave vassal religions and traditions alone. The only exception is if they have a practice so gruesome or intolerable that we absolutely can't stand to be near it. What would be an intolerable situation? Mass human sacrifice. That sort of thing. Then we use our soldiers to force them to stop. Happily, when a situation gets that bad, they're usually happy to be forced to stop. That's all for now. Thanks. Chief Gurvan has issues with having an opinion. He doesn't want to have one. Let's speak with Sage. There's a young woman in robes of sage here, keeping the records and ledgers of the fort. She's young for a sage. The harsh environment is leaving her pale complexion cracked, and every loud noise makes her jump. The presence of a princess doesn't calm her. She kneels. Welcome. I am Sage Albinnen. I will provide all the information I can. How do you come to be here? This is my first mission. I wanted to be in a vassal state. It is how to advance in the army. When a call for volunteers for a big mission came, I stepped forward. Turns out, it was for this Sacramentum campaign. Here I am. You don't sound enthusiastic. I've never been in the middle of a war before. We saw a lot of ugly things on the way out here. It's been an adjustment. Don't worry, Princess, it hasn't fazed me. I will still serve. Well, I have another question. What is your purpose here? I handle the paperwork of the fort. Haven is built on paper. Well, also the finest magical and military training in known lands, but mainly paper. Also, I have had to supply a lot of time outside looking over the supplies. No quartermaster. Why don't you have a quartermaster? He died on the boat over disease. Chief Gurvan told me to adjust. Any advice for how I can make the fort stronger? I couldn't say. Not to a princess. The chief might know. Any extra supplies for me? Nothing that would be an improvement for you, I'm afraid. These forts never get the best of. I would ask for one at one of the 3 battalion headquarters. Their quartermasters might have potions or other nice things. Another question. Tell me more about the Volt. She sits up straight. Now she's in her element. Of course. On the boat ride over, when I wasn't sick, I read and reread my books on the Vol. Their practices in history, their odd Owen-Masha system, they're fascinating. Easily classified as hard people, shaped by their land, requiring all standard techniques for dealing with such. I'd like to know more about the Owen and Masha. It is interesting. Many people would call the Owens slaves. However, the Masha allow them just enough freedom to leave them their pride. All this while totally controlling their lives. The Vol are hard people? Yes, it comes with poverty and hard environments. All of their energy goes to survival. This burns away sentimentality, sympathy, and weak emotions. This is one of the reasons it took the Owen so long to rebel. Thanks to their upbringing, many of them seem to believe they deserve their punishment. Their land shaped them. It is harsh and dry. Very little farmland. Lethal scorpions. Most fools spend their lives just a mistake or two away from death or ruin, and everyone makes mistakes. As in most places like this, they developed stern exteriors and a very strong code of honor. Ideas of honor and shame control their lives. Stern exteriors. The Vol tend to be grim and humorless, at least when you first meet them. They have humor. It just kind of embarrasses them. To make their lives tolerable, they love luxuries when they can find them. That is why they value oasis and why they make their city so beautiful. Where did this code of honor come from? The Vol have always struggled with each other for survival. The groups with the best and most efficient code of conduct survived. The code turned out stress, responsibilities, self-denial, and cooperation, and always paying one's debts. Why are honor and shame so important? When a land is so harsh, everyone can be one misfortune from death. The people learn from birth never to do anything to cause that misfortune to another. This is honor. Violating this brings great shame. How is loss of honor punished? Death, or shunning and banishment, which tends to lead to death. The exception, of course, is the shame of a great debt. It is atoned for by becoming an Owen. It's better than shame or death. Do many vassal states have systems like this? Yes. These vassals are called hard people. We have our own diplomatic protocols for dealing with them. Trade with Thebhlen tends to make these vassals richer and safer. Then the code of honor fades. What fate do such nations have? Slow decline, usually. No ruler or written law can force a citizen to work for the good of a nation. A cultural sense of morality and honor is the most reliable shaper of a citizen. Once that is gone, corruption follows. That is fine. Thank you, Princess. This is Standard Haven Doctrine, but Standard Haven Doctrine is set by you. You can always change my view from me later. But now I am rambling. I'm sure these debatable lectures are not helpful to you. Alright, that's all she has to say. And it's not stealing! Yay! Okay. Oh, you can also level. Okay. But, ooh, fireball. actually, let's do this. And he needs let's see, legend senses. Very confused. Let's do that one. And then for my abilities, raise my stunning actually. Oh, I need, but let's do that. Alright, now let's read these books that are around. Status of the Vol, year 465. A report for Queen Sharon III, Empress of the mighty Empire of Thebhlen. When King Cale declared the Vol a favored vassal, he promised our support should the Owen rebel. This was, at the time, thought a small concession. Since then, we have learned more of the true status of our vassal. The Vol has become more unstable in recent centuries. As the years pass, the Masha have gained a larger share of power and wealth, as slowly more regular Vol fail in society and become Owen. Their High Council in Thebhlen is distant and detached. They do not understand what is happening. Too few owners and too many servants has led to violence and riots, more every decade. We may find ourselves trapped in an ugly war in this barren land, and within the lifetime of your great majesty. Hoping to avoid that. That's the treaty. We've already gone over that. And it's about the Masha and the Owen, which we've had quite a bit of learning lately, but if you guys want to pause and read it for yourselves, there you go. Alright, let's go back out. We don't really have a lot of gold right now to build a lot of things here. We do a bakery and a mill. And that means that this place will at least give us some returns. Although it also means that we're going to be slowly draining our gold supplies while we go out and do things. Alright, we have a bridge here. Let's not go over that just yet. Edge of our keep. Go around and investigate here. Make sure we're not looking at any trouble spots around our keep. Okay. Let's see, where are we? Okay, Thebhlen is over here. So if we keep going, either way, really. This is once an inn for merchants. It has been closed down, the doors and windows are barred shut. It is too dangerous for merchants on this side of the pass. A single major pass leads through the high, jagged peaks that run along the west coast. This pass is the main route to Thebhlen, the capital of the Volt. The pass is blocked by a huge fortification reminiscent of the Volt gates. High walls, massive steel gates, archers on every parapet. You can see why the rebellion has stretched on, until someone can break the defenses of this fortress. An incredible difficult task. The Owen will never be able to defeat their former masters. Can I get through? The coast of the Vol is separated from the central desert by an enormous range of jagged mountains. There are only 2 proper passes through these peaks. This is one of them. A wide variety of travels flow through it. Vol merchants, refugees, traders from other lands. A narrow passage leads between the 2 tall towers. Vol warriors are gathered at the top, and multiple ballistas are aimed at you. One shouts, "Armed warriors get special attention. Go in and see the commander." Alright, I will. You begin to sense that you are entering a more dangerous region of the Volt. Near the capital, the foes are likely to be better armed and more challenging. You wonder if it might be wise to return later. Let's save. Right. You pass under the enormous gates of the Thebhlen Pass. When they put their mind to it, the Volk can make some truly impressive fortifications. The steel gates are enormous. Haven soldiers are famously skilled. However, as long as these gates are here, defeating a fortress like this is beyond the power of the South Battalion. Which way I'm supposed to go? Aha, Commander. The wolf sitting at this desk rises to greet you. Welcome. He looks at the insignia on your chest and nods. I am Commander Hassis Masha of Thebhlen Pass. Thank you for checking in. He is very young for a commander, barely in his 20s. As he talks to you, he keeps shuffling through the papers on his desk, looking for instructions. It is an awkward conversation. You are Masha? Of course. Only one with status would be trusted in a post like mine. I'm trying to pass through here. Hassis is confused. He looks at your insignia again. Then he nods. Yes, here. He pulls a scroll out of a pile of sheets and reads it. His lip moves as he does. You try to ask something, but he shakes his head. Sorry, I have guidance about you. You're trying to travel incognito, yes? One moment. He reads through his instructions twice. Finally, he sets the scroll aside, but he's ready to grab it again in an instant if he gets confused. So, a Princess of Haven, I am warned that you were coming. I am authorized to deal with you. Why are you here?
Thank you all for watching.
Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell to keep notified. And remember to free the feral wildflower in you.